5:18, bound for Los Angeles. Now boarding on Platform 2, departure in 15 minutes. All aboard West Coast 5:18.
I can't believe this day has finally arrived. The day I get to head to Los Angeles with the love of my life on her honeymoon. Can you believe that we've been married for already 3 weeks?
It feels like only yesterday that my beautiful bride became my beautiful wife. I can't wait to spend the next 10 days exploring Los Angeles with you, Rachel.
Walking along the beach.
Visiting all the museums.
Going on all the rides at Disneyland.
Seeing all the stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I'm so excited.
I've been looking forward to this trip every minute of every day since our wedding. I don't want anything to spoil our wonderful honeymoon together.
Well, we better hurry up and get our tickets. We don't want to miss a train.
Emma entered the train station. The boarding platform was brightly lit against the dimming light of the waning day. People were moving to and fro, hustling and bustling to reach their destinations. Emma approached the ticket counter, eager to begin her own journey.
May I help you, ma'am?
As Emma approached the ticket counter, the young ticket seller asked, "May I help you, ma'am?" She replied, "Well, yes, of course. 1 ticket to Los Angeles, please."
Ma'am, are you saying you'd like to purchase a ticket to Los Angeles?
Emma sighed in frustration at the ticket seller, who did not seem to understand her simple request to purchase a ticket to Los Angeles. It was imperative that Emma reach Los Angeles the next day to meet with her publisher and present her latest collection of short stories.
Ma'am, if I could just have your attention for one moment. I'm not sure if I understand.
Yes, I need to purchase a ticket to Los Angeles. I just said that.
My apologies, ma'am. I wasn't sure if you're speaking me or your notepad.
Oh, as a writer, it's important for me to be constantly aware of my surroundings and record every detail. Even everyday conversations and interactions can find their place in the written world.
I see. Well, here's your ticket. Enjoy your trip to Los Angeles.
Thank you. With her ticket finally in hand, Emma entered the boarding platform as the warm evening winds swirled about.
Oh, can I help you, sir?
1 for Los Angeles.
Yes, sir. And will you be keeping your sports equipment with you, or would you like to check that bag?
My equipment goes where I go. You never know when the opportunity to use it will arise. You need to be prepared.
I don't think there will be an opportunity to play basketball on the train, sir.
I didn't become Mike Umbar, top sports recruiter in the Western Conference with that type of attitude.
Excuse me. I think the pursuit of knowledge should be held in more esteem than the pursuit of basketball championships, especially at a university. I hope the students you recruit understand the value of receiving an education and do not think the entirety of their college experience should be spent in a gymnasium, seeking the approval of mindless sports fans.
How dare you talk about sports that way? Sports provide teamwork, physical fitness, critical thinking, and much, much more. Just who do you think you are?
Professor Holly Barnes, University of Utah, Department of Physics and Astronomy. Will you spend your time recruiting people to run around a basketball court in circles? I spend my time researching the night sky.
Isn't it a little bright in Los Angeles to be researching the night sky?
For your information, I'm going to the city to give a presentation on the Perseids at the Griffith Observatory. The meteor shower was particularly spectacular this August due to the setting of the waxing crescent moon.
And you think I'm the crazy one. You're speaking gibberish, nerd.
Neanderthal?
We can help the next 2 customers, please.
Good evening. 1 for Los Angeles, please.
I'm going to Los Angeles too. 1 for Los Angeles, please. I'm Abby Wells.
Dr. Lawrence Maloney. It's nice to meet you.
You're a doctor? You know, I'm studying medicine. Well, veterinary medicine. I'm going to Los Angeles to get experience as an aquatic vet tech. It's a little hard working with marine life in Utah. I bet you could teach me a lot.
Well, that's nice of you to say, but I'm an emergency room physician, not a veterinarian. I don't think I'll be able to help you very much with your marine studies.
But so much medicine could be applied across disciplines. I read that in my Introduction to Marine Life Studies book. I think they were talking about animal studies, but I mean, humans are mammals, right?
Well, listen, I do love my job, but everyone needs some time off. Wouldn't you agree? I'm spending my time off visiting some family in Los Angeles, and truly, work is the last thing I want to think about while I'm there. It was nice meeting you, though.
Next 2 customers, please.
Hey there, 1 for the city of flowers and sunshine, friend.
I'm sorry, where, sir?
The city of angels. The Big Orange? La La Land?
I'm afraid I still don't understand, sir.
He means Los Angeles. Can you please stop your tapping? I've been trying to read the same paragraph over and over again the entire time we're in line because I can't concentrate with all that racket. I'll send you one ticket for Los Angeles, please. Why so serious, my newspaper reading friend? What is it that's taking you to the coast? I am not your friend. I'm own case. I'm invested. I'm trying to read this article about bank fraud. But you seem intent on stopping that from happening. And of course, we're all the same friend. Private investigator, huh? Boy, that sounds pretty exciting there, friend. You know, music can be exciting too, but probably in a different way. Definitely, in a different way. Well, since you'll probably tell me anyway, what brings you to Los Angeles? Peace and love? I'm gonna be a musical sensation. This guitar here is my ticket to the good life, and I'm off to play my way up to the top of show business. It won't be long before you see the name Nelson Henry in that newspaper there, friend. I am not your friend. And stop that racket.
Next two customers, please.
It just doesn't make any sense, Jennifer. You can't base the success of a restaurant on the desserts alone. It's not a bakery. It most certainly is not a cafe. It is a restaurant. The main entrees are going to be the feature.
You aren't even listening to me, Derek. That isn't what I said at all. The restaurant won't survive if we bill it as just another seafood place in Los Angeles. We have to have that extra piece of flair that draws people in. And that flair will be found in my desserts.
Spoken like a true pastry chef, making yourself the center of attention. Well, I'm the executive chef, and the owners told me I could take the restaurant in any way I wanted when they hired us to be the new chef team.
Exactly. Chef team. As in both of us. It's not the Chef Derek show.
Excuse me, are you two purchasing tickets? We need to keep the line moving forward, please.
I'm sorry. My husband here seems to think that he's the center of attention both in and out of the kitchen. 2 for Los Angeles, please.
Jennifer, if we are ever going to get this restaurant off the ground, you might want to realize that I deserve to be the center of attention in the kitchen.
Are you serious? What part of chef team seems to be confusing you?
Next two customers, please.
This place is just disgusting. Just look around. It's too hot. That train is making smoke. And is that sand blowing around the floor? This is not a place I should be expected to set foot in.
Isabella, we've been over this. You have to take the train to Los Angeles as part of your next film. Sunset on the Rails. West Coast Railways is the company providing the trains for the film, and they said they won't have their name appearing in the movie unless you're actually seen riding one of their passenger trains. For publicity, it's in your contract.
Well, Lucy, I have no idea why you agreed to that. You're supposed to be looking out for my interests, and this is not something a movie star would be interested in.
I'm your assistant, not your agent. He's the one who agreed to this. Besides, I'm sure it's not as bad as you're making it out to be.
Excuse me, miss. Those women were lined before you. Please step to the side.
Do you know who I am? I am Isabella Madison, star of the movie One More Day, which is currently the top-grossing film in Iceland, Greenland, and Norway. I don't step aside, and I certainly don't wait in lines with people. People wait in lines for me.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Just because you're a movie star doesn't mean you can just cut in front of people in line.
It's fine. Take care of them. We can wait. Don't worry about it. We'll get to the counter in a minute.
Oh, she can't just get her own way just because she made some foreign film that no one has ever heard of. You deserve more respect than she does. She should wait behind you. You're the CEO of Salt Lake Pharmaceuticals.
Yes, Jillian, and as CEO, I'm telling you not to worry about it.
And that is final. I don't care if the only sleeper cars who have left house 2 people. I demand my own. And when is dinner? I'm just famished from this whole ordeal.
Dinner will be served tonight in the dining car at 7 p.m. and breakfast tomorrow at 8 a.m.
The food on this train had better be prepared by competent chefs. The last thing I need on this venture is substandard cuisine.
I want my own dining table. The last thing I need is people disturbing me while I'm eating. All right, so that's it. I'm tired of this.
My apologies for the inconvenience, ladies. Thank you for your patience. Where are you heading?
It's no problem. It wasn't your fault. 2 tickets for Los Angeles, please.
Certainly. And would you like to check any of your bags?
Oh, no, thank you. We have to go straight to our business meeting with Sunset Pharmaceuticals as soon as the train arrives. And I don't want to have to wait for baggage to be unloaded.
Yeah, I still don't understand why we can't just fly there, Miss Millen. We could have arrived tonight and had plenty of time to get ready for your presentation tomorrow. Or should I say, get ready for your takeover. This will be the 3rd company that Salt Lake Pharmaceuticals has acquired this year.
You know we can't take our pharmaceutical samples on the plane. I always worry that the change in air pressure will ruin them, and then the presentation will fall flat. This is a big acquisition for us, Jillian. We can't have anything go wrong.
Of course, Miss Millen. You're right, as always.
All aboard West Coast 518, bound for Los Angeles. Final boarding call. Departure in 5 minutes. All aboard West Coast 518.
I need 1 ticket on the 518, please.
The train to Los Angeles?
It doesn't matter where it's heading. All that matters is that Isabella Madison's on it. That means I need to be on it too.
Forgive me, sir, but why must you be on the train with her?
Because I am Sydney Bennett, paparazzi extraordinaire. I heard that she had to ride a train for her new contract. So I followed her all the way to Salt Lake City on her movie tour. I've been sitting in this train station for 2 days waiting for her to show up.
We're well aware.
My patience has paid off because I've watched every person board this train and no one else is here on assignment. Pictures of Isabella Madison throwing her tantrums on this train are going to skyrocket me to the top.
All aboard West Coast 518 to Los Angeles is now departing.
The boarding platform could best be described as quaint, and the dining car was no exception. The 3 tables, each adorned in modest drapery, stood anxiously awaiting their occupants, eager to fulfill their purpose. The 3 staff members hustled and bustled about, seeing to their activities.
Excuse me, ma'am, but the dining car has assigned seating. May I see your ticket, please?
Emma was startled by the waitstaff's appearance, and she had not realized she was supposed to bring her ticket to dinner with her and was frightfully unprepared for the conversational exchange.
Excuse me, ma'am, but if you could just tell me your sleeping cabin number, I can check my list and tell you your scenic assignment. We posted a chart up by the entrance, but you did arrive beforehand.
I do always like to be the first to arrive in group settings. It gives me the opportunity to record as much detail as possible. For my short stories, I'm Emma Williams, writer, sleeping cabin 14.
Ah, yes, Miss Williams. Turns out cabin 14 is actually assigned to this table. May I get you something else to drink while you wait?
Emma was very pleased at the good fortune of selecting the table at which she was supposed to sit. As she required no other beverage than the water that was already provided, the waitstaff returned to her dinner preparations.
And it says right here that working on a beach rescue can be just as taxing as working in an emergency room. See, I told you there's so much you can teach me.
Yes, I do imagine rescuing an injured sea creature on the beach can be a very stressful situation. But as I said before, I would really prefer to leave work off the train. I would just like to enjoy my travel in peace. Okay, cabin 6, table 2.
Oh my goodness, I'm at table 2 with you. I'm gonna have the best time on this trip.
At least one of us will.
Oh, I hope you're truly not planning to entertain the dinosaurs with that instrument. You know, some of us came to the dining car to actually dine.
You never know when inspiration might strike, friend. And some people find that listening to music while dining can be a very enjoyable experience.
That's true. I've been trying to convince my husband that adding tasteful live music to our restaurant would be a huge draw for patrons. I think it would also set us apart from other restaurants in the area. But he's convinced that adding live music would detract from the atmosphere.
Is your husband on this train, friend? Oh, I would love to talk to him about the benefits of music and eating, and to offer my services to this restaurant of yours.
Well, he's supposed to be meeting me here for dinner. He ran off as soon as we got on the train. But I'm not going to stand around and wait for him. He can just meet me at the table. It was nice to meet you.
Nelson Henry, musical sensation. I will keep my eyes open for your husband, friend, and perhaps we can convince him that music is the key to success.
The same train. And now the same table. What does a guy have to do to get a break around here?
Oh, come on, my investigating friend. We are going to have the best time on this journey. You need to give our friendship a chance.
And why is that exactly?
You never know when you might need a friend. In fact, I know a song about that.
Oh, please don't.
Well, maybe my writing friend would enjoy a nice dinner tune. I was just saying how music can enhance the dining experience.
Emma winced at the prospect of the guitar-wielding man regaling her in a song during dinner, though she decided to give in, as arguing would only postpone the song's inevitable arrival.
Come on now, friends. Why so serious?
We are not your friends. Do you even know what the word serious means? How do you expect to launch your music career being this passive?
I think you misunderstand me, friends. I am very serious about my music. But where will I get if I'm as uptight as you, not even willing to make a friend? Or always having my face in a notepad. I want to enjoy the journey.
While you may want to enjoy the journey, I want to record the journey. Writers need a great deal of material to create and work from. And taking down, well, everything, helps provide some of that material.
You know, being a private investigator is like that sometimes. Like in this bank fraud case I was just investigating, the scheme was complex, and there's a lot of moving players in the game. And if I hadn't been paying attention to my surroundings, I would have never noticed that it was the security guard who was walking the bonds out the front door.
Okay, serious friends. No dinner music. Perhaps I
can channel some of this serious energy and write a serious song. May I borrow a piece of paper, writer friend?
She is not your friend either. None of us are friends.
Oh, it's our first honeymoon meal, honey! And look, we're at table 1.
And we're in cabin 1. It must be because we boarded the train first.
I think it's because you're my number 1 and I'm your number 1.
Oh my goodness. You two must be on your honeymoon. No one who's been married a week would be acting like the two of you.
We are on our honeymoon, but we've been married for 3 weeks, and we love each other as much as ever.
Are you married?
Yes, I am, though I seem to be flying solo at the moment. Where on earth is Derek? Dinner's supposed to be served soon, but I guess I'll just have to order for him.
You know, I'm sure your case of samples would have been just fine in your cabin, Miss Millen. After all, the cabin door locks, and the case has a lock on it too, and you're the only one who has the key to the case.
You're probably right. But like I said earlier, this acquisition is just too important to leave anything to chance. No samples, no presentation, no acquisition. I'll just slip it under the table where it won't bother anyone while we eat, and I'll feel much better.
That's a very nice camera you have there. Are you a professional photographer? I'm sure you can get some lovely shots of the scenery while we travel.
Of sorts, but the only thing I want to photograph is right here on the train with us.
I recognize you from the train station. Why were you just sitting around if you had a train to catch?
Can you please keep it down? I'm trying to photograph Isabella Madison, you know, the movie star. I need to sit down before she gets here and sees me.
A paparazzo, eh? Those people cause all sorts of trouble for good athletes. They should just leave people in peace.
It seems to me that if people don't want the attention of the media, then perhaps they should choose careers that are less high profile.
Another crack at athletes. Just because no one's interested in what you do doesn't make what we do less important.
I believe I said people in general. You are the one who brought up athletes. You are completely insufferable.
Didn't I see you two arguing earlier? What's going on?
We're just having a bit of a disagreement about academics. I believe that the pursuit of knowledge is the most noble endeavor. Coach here does not.
You know, I never actually said that studying wasn't important.
Yes, you did. At the ticket counter?
Nope, I said I was a sports recruiter, and you went right in about how dumb sports are. I never even got a word in edgewise. I went to college on a sports scholarship. You know, to study. I wouldn't have made it to school without that scholarship.
And what's your degree? A bachelor's in being loud and obnoxious?
You know, being physically and mentally fit is important for people. It is also important for some species of marine life, too. I read in my book that some species of marine life actually play games with each other and are smart enough to create tools for themselves. Isn't that neat?
I do have to agree with Abby here. As doctors, we frequently tell patients that physical and mental acuity are both very important. I see a lot of people in the emergency room that could have prevented injury by either being in better shape or by using their minds to avoid the injury-causing situation in the first place.
See, the good doctor here says you need to use your mind when engaging in physical activity.
Yeah, I'm sure that looking up at the stars while you run will really help to avoid injury.
And there you go again.
What on earth were you doing in the kitchen?
I'm a chef, aren't I? I was doing market research for a restaurant.
In the kitchen of a train?
You have to be more open-minded, Jennifer. You never know what you can learn from new situations.
This is coming from the man who has shot down every single one of my ideas. You see what I mean about marriage? Well, this is what I get to deal with.
Don't listen to her. We're just a bit on edge because of this new restaurant we're opening up.
You own a restaurant? That sounds exciting.
Well, we don't own the restaurant. Not yet, anyway. The owner is one of those investment real estate types. He bought the restaurant thinking it would be a breeze to run as sort of a side business for himself. He figured out pretty quickly that owning a restaurant is really hard work. So he decided to start looking for some people with decent experience.
The owner is letting us totally design everything, right down to the paint on the walls and the napkin colors. We're hoping that if this goes well, we might be able to buy the restaurant down the road.
Is it hard going into business with your spouse? I mean, Rachel and I love spending time together, but we go to 2 separate jobs during the day.
It's definitely been a challenge, and we have been arguing a lot lately.
You're right, Jen. Let's find a way to keep ourselves on track, listening to each other and working together on a restaurant instead of working against each other.
Sounds good to me. So, what sights are you two planning to see on your honeymoon?
There you are, Isabella. Did you really have to change your outfit again? The one you wore before was just fine for dinner.
A movie star belongs to the public, Lucy. These people might have already seen me today. They expect me to change my outfit.
Well, we need to get seated so dinner can be served. It's already after 7. I checked the chart and we're at table 3.
Lucy, who are those people sitting at my table?
I don't know. The other people assigned to the table? What's the matter?
You might recall when we purchased our tickets on this ill-conceived journey, I demanded my own dining table. I will not be forced to interact with these commoners.
With all due respect, Miss Madison, this tantrum is really not necessary. I assure you that Jillian and myself will be perfectly amicable dinner companions.
Really? This is the second time today that you've treated us like this. We don't deserve it. No one here deserves to be talked down to and told they're commoners either.
Please, Miss Madison. As you can see, our dining car is full to capacity. We want to accommodate your every request, but we cannot make more tables appear. Won't you take a seat so we can serve the meal? Everyone is quite hungry.
Please, Isabella, you don't even have to talk to them. Please, just have a seat.
Well, all right, but you had better be prepared to give me everything I request for the remainder of this journey, or none of you will be employed after this trip. I am Isabella Madison, and I expect to be treated as such.
I cannot believe how she keeps treating you. If this was a pharmaceutical conference, you could be making demands like her. She has no idea who she's talking to.
Jillian, please. We cannot always choose who we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. We will be the more mature people in this situation and be better for it. Now let's sit down and at least try to enjoy our meal.
Hi. I don't think that we were actually introduced. I'm Lucy Blake, Isabella's assistant. We are pleased to meet you.
A pleasure. I'm Avery Millen, CEO of Salt Lake Pharmaceuticals, and this is my assistant, Jillian Hill.
Wow, I've heard of that company. It is an honor to meet the CEO.
Thank you.
You know, Miss Millen is the company's youngest CEO. She's the youngest CEO in the company's history and has grown the corporation more during her leadership than the last 3 CEOs combined.
Yes, thank you, Jillian. She makes it sound more exciting than it really is, though. It's a challenge to grow a small company, but our current growth is only happening because of all the work the others before me put in.
Wow, those are some impressive accomplishments.
Thank you.
Did you study business?
Actually, she studied chemistry. Most of our top pharmaceuticals are based on Miss Millen's own chemical designs.
Again, thank you, Jillian. After the previous CEO retired, the board of directors thought it would be a positive change to have someone making decisions who understood how the products we sell actually work. I did end up doing some business studies, but Jillian is a big help with the business side of things.
That's interesting. I studied business management myself and would not know a thing about pharmaceuticals. So I can see what the board of directors was thinking. Looks like their decision's working well for them.
You studied business management to get bossed around by a demanding movie diva?
Jillian!
No, it's okay. I get that question a lot. You see, me and Isabella were friends in high school, and then we went to the same college. When Isabella started getting parts in commercials and guest TV appearances, she needed me to be her assistant because she knows nothing about business. And to be honest, I really needed a job. We're she didn't start to get like this until that movie of hers took off. Working with Isabella is great for now, but one day I would like to get into a different line of business.
I'm a doctor. Is everyone all right? Does anyone need medical attention?
What is the meaning of this? My dinner's ruined and my clothing is soiled!
Our sincere apologies, Miss Madison. There must be a good reason why the train is stopped. We will find out right away.
Hey, I'm an investigator. Maybe I can help.
The passengers moved about frantically, trying to make sense of the sudden events.
I can't see anything. We're too far away from the front of the train. Someone should go up there and check it out.
I don't think that's a good idea, investigator friend. Maybe we should stay right here till we see what's going on.
That would be your idea, wouldn't it? Just use brute force, climb out of the train car, and run headlong into a potentially dangerous situation?
And if it were up to you, we would sit here forever waiting for information. Take some action.
We have been here for only moments. Some patience would benefit you.
Well, I think we could all
Listen! We went to the front of the train. The conductor says there's a rock slide on the tracks and that they already have people cleaning it up, and we should be on our way in no time.
We greatly apologize for the inconvenience. If you'd like to go to your rooms, freshen up, then return to the dining car, we can get this cleaned up and serve your meal again.
Come on, Isabella. Let's go to your room and change your outfit. Seriously, Isabella, it's not so bad. You brought lots of clothes. Isabella?
Isabella, everyone back up! You, give me that pitcher of water. You, give me those napkins. You, give me your coat. Okay, someone call 911. Lauren, I have supplies. How can I help?
There's nothing you can do.
I can't sew. I have lots of skills.
Abby, listen to me. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing I can do. She's dead.
I can't believe Isabella's dead. It's just awful.
I know. She was so young and she wasn't sick or anything.
Nothing like someone dying to ruin the feel-good atmosphere of dinner, friends.
Lucy, I am so sorry about Isabella. I know that you said the two of you had been friends for a really long time.
It's like it's not even real. I just don't understand how this even happened. I was with Isabella all day and she was totally fine. Even at dinner she seemed fine. And then all of a sudden she just dies? I don't understand.
Did she hit her head when the train stopped suddenly? Or choke on what she was eating?
I doubt it. If something like that would have happened, she would have made a huge scene about it, and all of us would have known. Yeah.
What is the matter with you? A young woman has dropped dead, and you're making jokes about her.
I'm sure no one meant to make a joke, right, everyone?
No.
Yes.
He only meant that Isabella didn't mention getting injured or feeling sick at all. And she didn't react like she was choking on anything.
Well, I got some bad news. There's no cell reception here, and I'm having no luck getting a call through to the authorities. Some of the train personnel are trying to get a call through via radio, and they've asked me to take on the case in the meantime. So, Lawrence, did you notice any injuries or any other clues about how Isabella died? You're the medical expert here.
Well, actually, I was just discussing that. I didn't notice any injuries of any type. And when I tried CPR, her airway was clear, which disproves the idea that she may have choked.
Can you determine a cause of death?
It appears that her heart just stopped. Unfortunately, I have no way of determining what caused that to happen.
Lucy, did Isabella have any kind of history of heart disease? Or was she taking any kind of medicine at all?
No, Isabella was totally healthy. The last time she saw a doctor was a while ago, but her checkup was fine, and if she had any sort of medical issue, I would have known about it. And we didn't pick up any medicine for this trip because Isabella hated taking any kind of drugs at all.
Do you think it was something she ate? Should we be worried?
I don't think we have to worry about that. Most of us ate the same thing. So if it were the food, more than one of us would have been affected. And besides, other than some types of fish, I can't think of any foods that can make your heart just stop. I mean, you can get food poisoning, and sometimes that can be serious, but it isn't instantaneous.
So what you're saying is that Isabella had no prior history of heart disease or any illness of any kind. She didn't hurt herself when the train stopped suddenly due to the rock slide, and she didn't choke on what she was eating. Her heart just stopped.
Hold on. Are you saying what I think you're saying?
It seems so unlikely.
You don't really think. Wait, what are you saying?
I'm saying I don't think this was an accident. I'm saying I think Isabel Madison was murdered.
Oh, Emma could hardly contain her shock and surprise. Murder on the 518? Improbable, but not impossible. The passengers began to speculate as they processed the sudden revelation.
Wait. Do you really think someone could have killed her? We were all right here together when it happened. Wouldn't we have seen something?
Rachel and I definitely did not plan to murder anyone on our honeymoon. Romantic trips do not include bodies in the dining room.
Hold on, romantic friends. Actually, not everyone was in the dining room when our movie star friend died.
Nelson is right. Derek and Jennifer ran to the kitchen once the train stopped, and Owen followed the waitstaff out. How can we be sure what they were doing when they were gone?
All right, Emma's right. I did leave the room. I went to the front of the train to see why we had stopped. But think about it. When would I have the opportunity to hurt Isabella in any way? And what would my motive be in the first place? You know, any investigator worth his salt knows that the crime needs two things: opportunity and motive. I didn't have either. The people who were actually in the dining car the whole time had much more of an opportunity than I did.
And we went to the kitchen to make sure that the sudden stop didn't cause a fire or injure anyone. We are chefs, you know.
And what motive would we have? Isabella didn't do anything to us.
You didn't seem too happy with the scene she made earlier in which she declared you a commoner.
Well, neither did you. It seems like something a professor would get pretty upset about.
Oh, please. Someone like me commit murder over something as frivolous as a minor insult? That seems highly unlikely, don't you think? Especially since there are far stronger, more common people.
Again with the insults. Somehow being athletic makes me the murderer. You heard the doc. Isabella wasn't injured. Are you saying the doc is lying to all of us?
Lauren is absolutely not lying. I was with him the whole entire time. Isabella wasn't hurt.
Well, don't you study fish? How would you even know if something was wrong? And besides, the doctor was the one who went from person to person right after the train stopped. He had the best opportunity.
I don't appreciate your insinuation. I am a healer. A crisis happened and I jumped in to help. While I have no desire to participate in this absurd debate, I do feel the need to point out that you and your boss work at a pharmaceutical company, which would give you access to potentially life-threatening materials. Not to mention, we all witnessed the fact that Isabella treated you both very rudely at dinner. Wouldn't that make you both prime suspects of foul play?
Absolutely not. Pharmacists take an oath too, you know. My goal is to never do harm with my products. I would never, ever use my company's resources to intentionally hurt someone.
Well, what about Emma? A good murder could be just the inspiration she needs for her story. After all, she's the one who said real life is the best story material.
I'm way too busy recording events to take part in them. And from what I've recorded, Lucy seems to be the most likely suspect for any foul play.
That's crazy! Isabella was my best friend.
Well, she may have been your best friend at one point, but she clearly treated you very poorly, bossing you around, making unrealistic demands, making you clean up her messes, and you never left her side. You had the best opportunity and the best motive.
She's right. Pressure like that can make people do crazy things.
Okay. We all saw how badly Isabella treated you, but you still say she's your best friend. What kind of sense does that make?
I don't understand.
Why would they think it's okay, I gotta take my charge.
All right, everyone, that's enough. But Lucy is not the only one that follows Isabella around everywhere. And she's not the only person that depends on Isabella for her career. In fact, her career would be over if Isabella died. Sydney's, though, would skyrocket. The money he'd make by selling the pictures of Isabella would skyrocket him straight to the top.
People, I didn't kill this woman.
I'm afraid I'm not convinced. I'm gonna have to confiscate your camera.
My camera? No way. Why?
Look, you said you didn't do this, and I want to believe you, innocent until proven guilty, right? So you've been taking pictures all night. You might have taken one that can help us figure out exactly what happened to Isabella.
Okay, but I'm staying with you while you look through my pictures. I go where my camera goes.
I'd like to join you both while you look. If the cause of Isabella's death does turn out to be something we all came into contact with, I'd like to find out about it as soon as possible.
I'll come too.
Of course you will.
Well, do you really think that Sydney may have taken a picture with the murderer in it, when none of us here saw anything?
No one was looking for a murder when the event actually happened. Now we have the opportunity to go back through the night knowing exactly what we're looking for. You know, Sydney's obsession with taking pictures of Isabella might actually solve her own murder for her.
Hey, I'm no expert, but I don't think we should leave the body in the dining room until we get to Los Angeles tomorrow morning.
That's a fair point. If Isabella's death was due to foul play, I'd hate to disturb any evidence, but we can't just leave it on the floor.
Can we all please just stop calling Isabella it?
Lucy, why don't you go back to your room and lie down for a minute?
I don't think that's a good idea, business lady friend. If there really is a dangerous person among us, is it really such a good idea to split up?
I have to agree with Nelson, especially since we do not yet know who the dangerous person is.
Well, you know what? I think this is all ridiculous. All I want to get is to get to Los Angeles and have a nice honeymoon. I have a very hard time believing that anybody here would have murdered anyone else. Lucy, how about you stay with us?
Are you sure? I mean, I don't really want to stay alone, but I don't want to intrude on your honeymoon either.
We'd love to have you, Lucy. Rachel is right. We don't even know that a murder happened here. Someone died, and that is awful. Do we really have to make it more awful?
Probably not. I think it's a high.
All right, listen here, you pansies. Right now, we just need a plan. First, Isabella's body. Who has an idea?
Actually, I do. When Jen and I went in the kitchen, we commented that they had a really large refrigerator. I think this train was built for longer trips than just overnight. I'm sure it could be used for this, as long as everyone's fine with dry cereal for breakfast tomorrow.
Well, that's a start. Derek, you and Jennifer go to the kitchen and handle that. Next! Did anyone have any luck getting through to the police yet? I'll take that as a no. Emma, you and Nelson go to the front of the train, find the conductor or engineer or someone, and see if they've successfully radioed for help.
Emma leapt into action, eager to gather more information for the benefit of the situation.
Come on, writer friend. Maybe you shouldn't write while you walk.
Good. Now the rest of us are going to wait here until they come back. Except you people. If you want to go look through pictures, knock yourselves out.
Oh, and shouldn't you be giving the directions? Aren't you the private investigator?
Private investigators usually work behind the scenes. When my brain starts getting working on a case, I tend to forget everything else that's going on around me. Let's get started looking at these photos. Sydney certainly captured the whole night on this thing.
It appears that someone likes to hear himself talk.
Oh, shut it. I didn't see you stepping up to take any action. Seems like something a smart person would do.
Oh, please. Being able to bark out orders does not automatically qualify you as intelligent. But you did get people moving in the right direction.
Hey, speaking of moving in the right direction, it looks like we're moving again.
Good news. We helped the kitchen staff prepare a place for Isabella's body. They're actually preparing most of our replacement dinner now.
Okay, traveling friends, here's the story. Our train operating friends have been in radio contact with our police friends, and we're basically out in the middle of nowhere. They want us to proceed to our final destination of Los Angeles, but we might have to put off any arrival plans until we can speak with our police friends.
What? Miss Millen, what if we miss your meeting? That's the whole point of us being here.
Well, I'm sure the company will understand if we have to reschedule, given the circumstances.
This whole thing is just insane. I'm gonna try to contact them and figure the schedule out. Maybe since the train is moving, I'll have some cell reception.
Okay.
Hey guys, come help us move Isabella's body into the cooler. Lawrence, come see if you think this will work for the rest of the trip.
I'll come too.
Of course you will.
Sydney? Are you seriously still taking pictures? What's the matter with you? She's dead.
Do you have any idea how much money I'm gonna get for these? Isabella might be dead, but she's still gonna get me rich.
Okay, that is seriously inappropriate. And declaring that you're going to profit off this does not make you sound innocent, does it? Anyway, the authorities are going to have to confiscate your camera when we reach Los Angeles. It's evidence.
It's private property. They'll have to give it back eventually, and I'll still be the only one with these photos.
Excuse me, everyone, but the kitchen staff is ready to serve the meal. If you could all please vacate the dining area for a few minutes, we will clean up this mess and have dinner ready momentarily.
I'm sorry. We're gonna have to leave the dining car as is. If Isabella's death was due to foul play, there might be some clues around here that can help us interpret exactly what happened here tonight. Is there anywhere else that we can serve?
The lounge car is available, though there may not be enough table space. But as long as some people don't mind standing, it should be a fine space to serve.
Emma was surprised at the physical strength required to move a dead body, even with the assistance of many, and required immediate sustenance.
What I think Emma means to say is that it's a lot harder than I expected. Jen, pass me my water.
Everything looks like it will be fine in the kitchen. It's a good thing this is a short trip. This is definitely not a long-term storage solution.
Everyone, please. We know you're probably all hungry. If you'd like to follow us, we'll show to the lounge car and serve you dinner.
I think I'm just gonna eat dinner in my room. I've had enough excitement for one night.
Sounds good to me. Rachel, how about we eat with Lucy?
Actually, a quiet dinner in my room sounds appealing. Do you think we could just make our plates and take them elsewhere?
Sounds good to me. What does our investigator think?
I suppose that folks can eat in their rooms. It's not like they're going anywhere.
Of course, no problem at all. Anyone wishing to dine in their quarters can collect their plates in the lounge and take them back to their rooms.
Thank you so much.
Excuse me, sir, do you not hear us? We'll be serving the meal elsewhere. Sir, can you hear me?
Sydney! Sydney, can you hear me?
Abby, it's no use. His heart stopped. He's dead.
All right, guys, it's time for us to face the facts. We got 2 people dead from sudden, unexplained heart failure. It's possible to think that one death is a unique occurrence, but there were 2 deaths. I don't think we could deny it anymore. There's a murderer on this train. We don't know who, we don't know how, and we don't know why. And if we don't figure out soon, there could be more of us dead before we reach Los Angeles.
Emma, what are you doing?
I'm writing, of course.
No, you're not. You're staring at me.
Your expression is most captivating. You look despondent. Emma sat across from the despondent-looking young woman, who was fingering a small golden trinket in her hand. Emma wondered the significance of the small golden piece.
Oh, this? Isabella gave it to me. I didn't even realize I was playing with it.
The despondent young woman must have been very saddened by the sudden loss of her close friend and employer.
Oh, Isabella wasn't just a close friend. She was my best friend. I don't know if I'm angry or sad or frightened or what I'm feeling.
Despondent.
Hey, Lucy, I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm afraid I really don't understand. How can you say Isabella was your best friend? She treated you really poorly, and everyone for that matter.
Oh, hey, Jillian. I didn't see you come in. What do you mean?
Well, like I just said, Isabella treated everyone so poorly, and she bossed you around and didn't seem to care.
Well, it's hard to explain. I think sometimes success can do things to people, because Isabella never cared about being famous. She just wanted to act. She was always the happiest when she was playing a part.
Are you saying she was pretending to be mean?
Isabella's agent was always telling her that no one pays attention to nice movie stars and that if she wanted to get noticed, she really needed to make a scene wherever she went. I know it looks like Isabella was always so mean to me, but that wasn't the real her. I know it wasn't. The crazy Isabella you guys all saw, that's just how she acted in public. Playing another part, I guess.
But didn't it bother you that she got all the attention? Don't you think you deserve some of the credit?
No, I liked being behind the scenes. That's why me and Isabella worked so well together. Why we spent so much of our time together for so long. See this necklace? Isabella bought us matching ones before the trip because she said we did all of this together.
Wow, I had no idea.
Most people don't. Isabella built her whole image on being stereotypical crazy movie star. But I always thought she could have made it just being herself. You spend a lot of time with Avery. You must see multiple sides of her personality, right?
I mean, I guess a little, but she's pretty much the same person all the time. But I like things to be straightforward, you know? Hey, it's been a long day. Maybe you should go get something to eat. I think they're still serving dinner in the lounge car.
Thanks for listening. Most people just keep trying to interrogate me because they think I murdered my best friend and that photographer who was chasing her. You're right. It has been a long day. I think I'll just skip dinner and go straight to bed. Good night.
Okay, good night. Rachel?
Why did you run out of the lounge crying?
What's the matter?
This isn't how our honeymoon was supposed to go. I wanted it to be perfect.
I know. I wanted it to be perfect too.
Now when we get to Los Angeles, we're going to have to spend our time in a police station being accused of murder instead of sightseeing and celebrating our honeymoon. We didn't do anything wrong.
I know, but we're all suspects. We have to let the police do their job.
Circumstances got you down, honeymoon friends?
Yes. This honeymoon is turning out to be a disaster.
Oh, come on now. It's not all that bad.
Are you kidding me? 2 people have been murdered. You say it's not all that bad.
All I'm saying is it wasn't either of you that got murdered, right? And you'll still be in Los Angeles in no time, spending your sweet time together. And just think of the story you'll have to tell your friends when you get home.
Yeah, Nelson has the right idea, guys. This will all be over soon. For us, at least, who didn't know either of the victims.
I suppose you're right, Nelson. I think we're just losing sight of why we're on this trip in the first place.
Yeah, thanks, Nelson. I think this whole thing is just making me a little crazy, I think.
How do you stay so calm and positive?
Well, I packed up to go to Los Angeles because I sent out so many copies of my record to all the companies and I never heard back from any of them. So I decided to just move there and see what would happen. And if I stop being positive, how will I make it?
My gosh, Nelson, I don't think I'd be able to just dive into something like that. I bet someone will decide to give you a chance.
Yeah, you're so determined. I bet your music is great. Do you want to share some of it with us?
Oh, sure. I left my notes on the table. Here, come and take a look.
Hello, all. Jillian, there you are. Have you seen Owen? I really need to speak with him.
Oh, sorry, business lady friend. We haven't seen him all evening. Anything we can do for you?
Yeah, you don't look so good. Are you okay?
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I just lost something. I'll just look around here and see if I can find it. So, what are all of you up to in here?
Oh, Nelson was just about to play some of his music for us.
You're all sitting around playing music at a table where a man was just murdered? Isn't what's going on bothering you at all?
You seem pretty upset, Miss Millen. How can I help? What's missing?
No, I'm fine, Jillian. If you see Owen, just send him my way.
Of course, Miss Millen.
Would you stop it? You can't just come barreling in here to serve the evidence. Well, never mind. Clearly, no one seems to care that 2 people just died here and that nothing should be moved until it is processed by the proper authorities.
I didn't say I was gonna touch anything. I just left my wallet at the table. I don't think getting my wallet will disturb the evidence, do you? Why'd you follow me in here anyway? Don't you trust me? Think I have something to hide?
Well, people eager to remove things from crime scenes seem awfully suspicious, don't you think? Besides, if you must know, I left my glasses in here during all the confusion.
So it's not okay for me to come get my wallet, but it's perfectly fine for you to come get your glasses. Seems very suspicious to me.
Because I won't barrel through the room and disturb everything in sight.
I don't barrel anywhere.
Will you two stop it? You've been at each other's throats all night. We all have much larger problems than whatever it is you two are arguing about.
Really? You two should take a page out of Nelson's book. Get some positivity.
Well, that's not exactly what I meant.
So true, friend.
If we could all just focus on the problem.
Come on, guys, let's go be calm and positive elsewhere.
We are chefs, not murderers.
We had nothing to do with these deaths.
I'm not accusing you of murder. I'm just worried about the safety of the passengers. We have to get to the bottom of this.
And is it very safe for the passengers that you store bodies in my cooler?
We took the food out of the cooler before we put the bodies in there. There's no danger to the passengers there.
Hey, Julian, what's up? Did you come help us look for clues in the kitchen?
No, actually, I lost my cell phone, and I came to see if I dropped it back here during all the commotion with Sydney. Did you put his body in the cooler, too?
Unfortunately, they did.
It is completely unacceptable.
Okay, listen, for the last time.
Take the body in the cooler now. You can do it right now. You can take it out. You put 2 bodies in it. Out.
Look, here are 2 more people to invade my kitchen.
I'm not here to invade your kitchen. We're here to tell you how much we just enjoyed the dinner we just had.
What are all of you doing in here?
We were sleuthing for clues in the kitchen.
Sort of. I'm convinced that the victim's death is due to something that they ate.
Owen? I really need to speak with you about...
We've already told you there are virtually no foods that could have caused this to happen. And you've searched the kitchen. Did you find anything?
We all eat the same things. Take it from people who work in the kitchen. When you serve something like this at an event where everyone eats the same food and all the dishes are the same, you have no idea which dish is going to end up at which table.
And do you really think that the kitchen staff randomly decided to put dangerous food on just 2 plates? And even if they did,
Hey!
and I'm not saying you did, but really, what are the chances that those 2 plates would end up in front of the intended people? It seems way too coincidental to me.
All right, I get it. What about the wait staff, though? They serve each person individually. And they were with us the entire time the meal was served. Plenty of time to see where everybody was sitting.
We've been in and out of the kitchen about a dozen times by now. The food gets handed straight to the waitstaff and then they go out the door. When would they have the opportunity to sabotage the food?
And weren't Sydney and Isabella at 2 separate tables?
How do you say so?
Did 2 different waiters decide to commit murder on the same night?
I don't want to steal your line.
Okay, I get it. The food theory doesn't quite add up.
Now, if you are quite satisfied, we will be returning to the kitchen without all of you.
Something is missing. What is missing?
Owen, I really need to speak with you.
I know what's missing.
What are you talking about?
Owen said something's missing. I know what it is.
You do?
No need to sound so surprised.
Oh, I didn't mean it that way.
Okay, that's enough. Mike, what are we missing?
Seems to me y'all are getting too hung up on finding out the how and not on finding out the why. People died. We've got that. It happened here in the dining room. We've got that too. So now y'all spent the whole night chasing around a food theory that hasn't gotten you anywhere. You can only try to shoot a 3-point shot so many times before you have to switch plays and go inside for a layup. So back up, reassess, and approach the problem from another angle.
Emma!
Wait, you think it was Emma who killed them?
No, Emma can tell us what's missing.
I don't follow you.
Well, you know how she's always writing down what she sees? She was writing down, she was in there with us for dinner and she was taking notes. I bet she could tell us what's missing.
Great work, Abby.
You know, I bet if you put Emma's notes together with Sydney's photos, you can paint a picture of practically everything that was going on in the room all night. Wait, where is Sydney's camera anyway?
I thought I saw it on the table over here when we moved his body. Guys, the camera isn't here.
What? Where did it go?
So many people have been in and out of this room all night. Anyone could have grabbed it, and no one would be the wiser.
I bet Emma could help with that too. Emma, what do you say?
Though Emma was slightly annoyed to have her writing disturbed, she recognized the importance her notes had in solving the mysterious murders that had occurred, especially in light of the photographer's camera going missing, which created a very large gap for visual evidence.
I believe that was a yes.
Come on, Jen. Let's go see if we can find that camera.
Nope. We're all staying right here until we figure this thing out. But I know. Not everybody's here. But Mike was onto something. Everybody here in this room has been trying like crazy to figure out what happened here tonight. Either we're all the best actors ever, or we're the people who genuinely don't have anything to hide. Either way, let's grab the notebook and maybe start investigating the people who haven't been here all night.
Oh, and I need to speak with you. Privately. Now.
Okay, Avery. You don't look so good. What's up?
Avery, I don't mean to intrude, but if you're feeling sick at all, we really need to...
No, I'm fine. Actually, though, Lawrence, it's a good thing you're here too. Okay, so, both of you know that I work at a pharmaceutical company and that I'm headed to Los Angeles with samples for our presentation, right?
Right.
Right. Well, after there was that big rock slide on the tracks, when the train stopped suddenly, I opened my bag of pharmaceuticals to check on them, and they all were fine. So just now after dinner, I went to check on them again, and I noticed that One of the vials of medicine is missing.
Oh no, the what? What?
Avery, this isn't good. What does it contain?
Well, that's the really worrisome part. It's a new medication my company is developing to help patients at risk for heart failure. It hasn't been widely tested yet.
So what you're saying is we have a vial of untested heart medication where 2 people have died because of sudden heart failure.
Yes.
Oh my goodness!
Wait, what is it?
Avery's missing medicine that can cause heart failure.
Are you serious? And when were you going to share this piece of information with the rest of us?
This new development is most exciting.
Owen, this woman clearly had the means to commit these murders and the opportunity. We should have kept our eyes on her the whole time. See, I was sitting at the same table as Isabella. Who was rude to her?
But do you genuinely think she would have brought this to our attention if she was the one who had committed the crime?
Well, maybe that's a plan, to make us think she's innocent.
But Derek, from what I'm reading here, Avery was nowhere near Sydney at any point. And I think it's somewhat far-fetched to think there are 2 separate murderers.
Derek, come back.
Let's just give those 2 a minute. Avery, tell us more about this heart medication. I think it's safe to say that this is our most likely lead as of cause of death.
Right. Well, like I said earlier, its primary function is to help patients at risk for heart failure by regulating heart function. For someone who is sick, too little would be ineffective, but too much could be very dangerous.
So what would happen with someone without heart failure took it?
Well, it would be safe to presume that the same would hold true for a healthy person. A little would go unnoticed, but a lot could likely cause serious heart problems.
What characteristics does the medication itself have? Would people realize they were taking it, or can it be hidden somehow?
Well, actually, that's where my company has been focusing most of our research. All of the medications I'm taking with me to Los Angeles are in liquid form with no added colors or flavors. We were trying to develop a line of medications for people who have difficulty swallowing traditional medicines.
That sounds like a great idea. I bet it could be used to animals too.
Abby, focus.
So, if you claim it wasn't you, who else had access to your case?
Well, that's the thing. The case never left my possession. And I'm the only one with a key, which I have right here. The only times all night it's been open were right after that rock slide, and then just a few minutes ago in my room.
Sorry about before, everyone. I'm pretty on edge because of this new restaurant we're opening up and this whole murder thing. So I thought we could all use some refreshments. Anyone?
Emma was parched from all the excitement and did require some refreshment.
Sounds good to me.
Don't drink
that!
What? Why? What's the matter?
The water! That has to be what happened!
If the medicine's a liquid, it'd be easy to add to a beverage.
And with no added colors or flavors, no one would ever even know they were drinking it.
Emma took amazing notes, and right before both deaths occurred, many of us were sipping water.
Well, good catch. So now we just need to figure out who was close enough to the case and who was close enough to put it in their water.
I'm positive this notebook will continue to be a valuable resource in figuring this out.
I don't think we need the notebook.
I think you're right.
Attention passengers. We will be arriving in Los Angeles in approximately 10 minutes. Please be prepared to leave all belongings on board when exiting until the authorities have had the opportunity to survey the scene and speak to everyone individually. Thank you.
Do you both have an idea of what happened?
Tell us.
All right, everyone. We got 10 minutes before we reach Los Angeles. Grab the notebook and let's get to work. Now that we know exactly what we're looking for, we can surprise the murderer when we get to Los Angeles if we all work together. Who's in?
Everyone, hands in. Go, team!
Just arrived. West Coast 518 from Salt Lake City has just arrived on platform 4. Just arrived. West Coast 518.
All right, folks, please just follow us. Head right over there and we can start taking your statements. Please leave all belongings on the train until we can conduct an adequate search.
Right this way, folks. We were trying to do this as quickly as possible. Please stay together.
Sir, your guitar. Ma'am, your book. You with the bag. Please, folks, all belongings stay on the train.
While wanting to follow the officer's wishes, Emma was dismayed at being separated from her beloved writing supplies. She also failed to recognize how a guitar and a marine studies book could pertain to the details of this particular investigation.
What?
She doesn't like to be separated from her notebook. I can put my book back on the train. Nelson, you want me to take your guitar? Avery, I can take your case for you.
That won't be necessary, Abby. I'll be handing my case straight to the police.
Miss Millen, you're handing all your samples over to the police? Don't you think you should keep them with you?
Nonsense. You heard what the officer said. Everything on the train is evidence. We wouldn't want to complicate the officer's investigation by leaving them a case full of dangerous samples they couldn't open. These are all my pharmaceutical samples, and this is the key to the case.
Hello, officers. Let me introduce myself. My name is Owen Casey, and I am a private investigator. I wanted to deliver this evidence straight to you, along with this black case. Inside the bag, you will find notes from Emma's notebook, a resident writer, which I think we will find very helpful in reconstructing the activities on the train during our trip. Also in the bag is the camera of Sydney Bennett, the deceased paparazzo who was constantly taking pictures until he died.
You found the camera?
That's awesome. Where was it?
I didn't even know our photographer friend's camera was missing.
That's a stroke of luck for us. The poor guy might actually help solve his own murder.
You say this camera was missing? Where did you find it?
Actually, his camera was never missing. My camera that I brought along to record my upcoming lecture looked very much like Sydney's. My camera is still missing. This one was under his dinner table the whole time.
I took the opportunity to go back through Sydney's photos, and he took one clear as day of Isabella's murderer poisoning her water glass.
He did? Wait, poison? But who?
Why didn't he say anything?
Do you think he was still trying to make more money?
I knew it wasn't the food.
A photograph of the poisoning?
And let me guess, this case contains the poison?
After Isabella died, it didn't take long for us to figure out that her death was no accident. Everybody else was fine. At first, we thought she hurt herself when the train stopped suddenly due to the rock slide. But the good doctor here confirmed that she was not hurt.
That's true. I checked on everyone right after the train stopped, and no one was injured.
Who did it? Who poisoned Isabella?
At first, we all thought that Sydney did. He had the most to gain by selling the pictures to Isabella. Of course, he denied it, and he said we could look through his camera to see if we could find any helpful photos.
He's the other who's deceased?
Well, that's when we realized we were wrong about Sydney being the murderer. After Sydney's death, we knew we had to look at other potential suspects.
But how did you figure it out? Weren't you? You weren't even with everyone who was trying to figure it out.
Well,
Jennifer, Derek, Lawrence, and Abby all went with Owen to look for clues.
I realized I was carrying around a whole case full of potential danger. When I opened it up to check on it after that rock slide, they were all fine. But when I checked on it again later, I noticed a vial of medicine was missing.
All right, you're missing dangerous medicine. We have to find it. The rest of you could be in danger.
Wait, your medicine poisoned Isabella? It was you. It must have been you. No one else here had access to that case. Plus, you were sitting at the same table as Isabella when she was murdered, and you just said in front of everyone that you opened the case right before she died. I can't believe you tried to comfort me after you killed her.
Lucy, listen. I thought the same thing at first as well. But when we went back through Emma's notes, we realized that Avery was nowhere near Sydney at any point. She couldn't have killed him, and she didn't kill Isabella.
But there was one other person sitting with you at the table with Isabella. One other person that had access to the case of pharmaceuticals. And the only person that was with Sydney and Isabella before their deaths.
Julian!
Going somewhere?
You gotta be a lot quicker than that to surprise me.
Fine. You figured it out. It was me.
Oh, I don't believe this, but Julian, how could you?
Lucy, I didn't mean to kill her. Honest, I didn't.
But you did kill her. And Sydney. Why?
Well, I was so angry at the way Isabella treated us at the train station and again at dinner. She was so rude to everyone. I mean, what did she think gave her the right to talk down to us, to all of us? Fame doesn't give people the right to act that way.
So, you killed her?
Well, no. All I wanted to do was embarrass her. And when I heard that Sydney was on board and taking pictures to sell, I thought, what could bring Isabella down a notch? She was always so worried about looking her best and being better than everyone else that I figured a bunch of pictures of her getting sick all over the train right before her big movie premiere would be just the thing to mess up her perfect Hollywood image.
That definitely gives you the right to kill her.
You poisoned her to make her sick.
When Avery opened the case after the train stopped, I slipped out the vial closest to me. And during all the commotion, I poured some in her water glass. That way she could get sick and Sydney could sell the embarrassing pictures. But I never meant for her to die. I had no idea that what I put in her water would kill her.
I can't believe this. How many times have I told you that we work with dangerous items? What were you thinking?
But why kill Sydney, though? He was going to sell the embarrassing pictures to Isabella just like you had planned.
When Sydney started saying how he was going to sell all those embarrassing pictures, I realized it didn't matter what happened to Isabella. She was still going to be famous, and Sydney was going to get rich from her fame.
So you killed him?
When Owen and Sydney decided to go through Sydney's camera to look for a picture of the murderer, I knew I had to get his camera. I was sure he had a picture of me poisoning Isabella's water, and I knew I'd never get it from him willingly. He hardly ever put the camera down. I still had the rest of the vial in my coat pocket. So when I saw my opportunity, I put the rest of the vial in his water glass.
You knew it would kill him and you did it anyway?
Yeah, and for nothing, I find that I have somebody else's camera hidden in my coat. Yeah, I didn't even see anybody else with a camera.
That's because no one else had one. I figured if we tricked you into thinking that we had it, that it made you nervous enough to confess, and I was right.
I wondered why you kept calling this empty water glass a camera. Glad I just went along with it.
Avery and I figured that Jillian was the only other person that had access to the case of pharmaceuticals, and that she must be the murderer. Holly went back through Emma's notes, and she figured that Jillian must have Sydney's camera, and that there will be no way we could get the evidence unless we tricked her into it.
So I did have the camera all along, and you all didn't have a picture of me poisoning anyone.
Now that you've confessed in front of all of us, we won't need a picture now, will we?
You're under arrest. Let's go.
Well, folks, we will still have to ask all of you to come to the station for official statements. But now that we have the murderer and a confession, we should be able to get you on your way soon enough. If you will all follow me, we have cars waiting to take you downtown.
Well, nice work, everyone. Abby, brilliant idea with the camera bluff.
Abby, I know I didn't want to work on this trip, but obviously this trip had different plans. You were a great asset throughout all the chaos. You're very bright, and I'm sure you make a superb vet tech.
Thank you, that means so much.
I do hate to admit it, but you had some very effective insights throughout this investigation. Perhaps I underestimated you.
That'll teach you to judge a book by its cover, huh, Professor?
I never did hear what your degree was in, Mike.
Criminal justice.
Well, this was all very surprising.
I'll say, what a way to start our honeymoon.
Jennifer, you and Derek worked so well together to help solve this crazy case.
I suppose we did. You know, we do work a lot better together when we aren't fighting.
You're right, Jen. We do need to listen to each other and work together, especially on the restaurant.
If for me cooking friends, I happen to know a fabulous musician who's looking for work and is very good at keeping people calm and relaxed.
Come on, Nelson. We'll talk terms in the car.
Hi, Lucy.
Oh, hi, Avery.
Are you coming?
Yeah, I just can't believe this. I'm sorry I thought that you were a murderer.
To be honest, I feel somewhat responsible. I should have been more careful about who I trusted to be my assistant and handle those samples.
No, you couldn't have known what Jillian would do. I don't think that any of us would have. I know I didn't.
Well, I know it might not be the best time, but I find myself in need of a new assistant. Someone with a good mind for business, good organizational skills, someone who's good at following directions, someone who might be in need of employment.
Me? You want me to be your new assistant?
I know you'll have a lot on your plate in the near future, handling Isabella's affairs, but when it all settles down, please give me a call. Salt Lake City's a great place to live.
I will. Come on, Emma.
Emma realized she was the last person on the boarding platform. Before joining the others, she reflected on the bizarre series of events that befell her and her fellow passengers on West Coast 518. After this trip, it was unlikely that any of their lives would truly be the same. Friendships torn apart, new relationships forged, old relationships made stronger, and new opportunities presented. What an amazing story this would make.